The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show presented by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani, and this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Get yourself some delicious coffee. Taste the Kona difference. Head over to hawaiianisles.com and Amazon. Neil, how are you doing on this Wednesday night?
I'm doing all right. I just got back, like I mentioned before we got on the call, from a little workout. Have that post-workout feeling alive and refreshed and ready to do a few box scores. We've got I got him a dogfight in my playoffs. I'm the 1 seed, but I'm like the 1 seed going up against a very talented 8 seed. Very, very hard. It's going to be very hard to pull this one out. I'm trying to figure out how not to lose it. And then in my other league, I feel like I can't stream. Whenever I stream, it just doesn't work. And we'll get into that later if you want to hear me complain. But anyway, I should be fine. But I'm just like freaking out for no reason. So anyway, how are you tonight?
Nice. I'm doing good. Just as you, I worked out earlier tonight. I ran a couple miles. Hit the weights a little bit, so I'm feeling good too, man. I think you and I are definitely bringing the energy here tonight. And I'm really only alive in like a couple of my leagues, and one of them is the Hoop Ball Staff League, and I currently got a 7-2 lead right now. And man, some of my guys, Neil, have been, I have guys who have been like just okay this season, and they picked this week to show up for the season, man. I mentioned the Cavs yesterday. Sexton and Osman have been balling out. I have some guys that are just hot right at the right time, and my team's looking pretty good right now. So I'm hoping I can cruise to a victory this week there.
I'm rooting for you, Adrian. I know it's you've had some tough injuries, some draft picks that just haven't lived up. Like the Isaac. I keep on thinking of Isaac. I'd go crazy if I owned him. But anyway, so I'm glad your playoffs are working out. I'm not going that direction. It's not going. When it's like it's not going well, and you just start like, okay, I'm going to reach for these two guys and pick them up and stream them and see if they work out, and then like both of them just like have terrible games. You're like, what the hell? It's just so frustrating.
I'm going to take a look at the weekend and see, like, for example, I got Dario Saric on my team. I think I can drop him. I'm going to look to see, like, if anybody's playing back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday, or, Friday, Sunday. Is there a guy I can pick up to get, like, 2 games at the end of the week from? I'm gonna look and see who's available after this show and see if I can stream somebody for the end of the week. It's a good strategy, man. It's a good strategy.
Dan Backers did a master's class on streaming. If you don't listen to his show, this week has been all about streaming, and he's given some incredible advice on how to do it right. So I'm trying to learn. Anyway, let's hop into some NBA news and notes. Do you have any news and notes, actually, before I say that?
I have 0 news and notes. What about you, man?
Huh?
I got nothing.
Zach LaVine back at practice. Good to see that. Guess that's not really much news, but I guess it's something.
You know what? That is good news because I got to be honest. Yeah. I expected Zach LaVine to miss a few weeks. The way there was some buzz on Twitter at the beginning of the week that there's a chance that Zach LaVine could get shut down. The way the coach Boyle spoke, he said something like, "Oh, I'm hopeful we see him again this season." And to me, that's like, whoa, right. See him again this season. Like, to me, that sounds like he's going to miss some significant time, but we're going to see him sometime before the season ends. So I took that as in like, oh man, Zach LaVine's going to be out for a while. So as you said, man, very encouraging if he's practicing right now. Hopefully that means we see him like soon, very soon. So that is some pretty good news right there.
Yeah, and the other news is Doncic talking about not being 100%. That kind of makes me – that's one of those things that makes me think he might shut himself – or the team – the management is thinking about shutting him down. I don't know. I think if that happens, maybe Devin Harris becomes. I don't know. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
That's a big stretch, but maybe. Yeah.
I think that's great advice. And we have been talking about Jalen Brunson lately. Just more usage for that wonderful rookie. Make sure he's definitely owned just in case Doncic decides to shut it down. And Neil, really interesting. I was watching NBA TV tonight. They said on NBA.com, Trae Young has just overtaken Luka Doncic on the rookie ladder. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh! I know Atlanta had a huge win tonight. That is mind blowing right there. It's a very hot take by the NBA. Was it NBA TV you were watching?
It was NBA TV, yeah. But I guess that rookie ladder where they rank all the rookies, I guess that's on NBA.com.
Oh,
so you can see that ranking on NBA.com. Just this week, for the first time this year, Trae Young has the number one spot. He overtook Luka Doncic. Because I guess Trae Young's been on somewhat of a hot streak.
He has been
lately.
on fire, and he had another great game tonight. Looking ahead at his box score.
Neil,
I mean, I could see this is almost kind of like last year's between Mitchell and Simmons. You know, both those guys were deserving. I thought Simmons had the better year and Mitchell had the stronger finish. So maybe that's the comparison. I don't know.
Neil, yeah. I not to slight Trae Young. Yeah. I think Trae Young's going to be a pretty good player. If Trae Young wins Rookie of the Year over Luka Doncic, I am going to start breaking stuff, man. I am going to throw the biggest fit and rant you've ever seen. I'm going to go crazy, man, if Trae Young beats Luka Doncic for Rookie of the Year.
I'd have to
what do you think about
see
that?
His advanced metrics and how. I mean, they are playing so much better basketball, and he's a big part of that. I mean, they won easily tonight over Memphis, who obviously is not a very good team this year, but they've had some really nice wins. While Dallas has kind of struggled, so I would still rather. I mean, there's no question. If I had to make a pick, I'd take Luka for Rookie of the Year and the number one player. But anyway, we know I'm biased, so. Don't break things over the rookie.
Oh, I might. You know what? I've been looking for an excuse to buy a new computer. I might break my computer. But look, the only way I'll be okay with it is if, like, tonight or this week, Doncic says, I'm hurt, I'm shutting it down, and Trae Young balls out for the remaining 4 weeks, then fine. I guess we can give Trae Young Rookie of the Year. But that is the only way I will accept it, man.
Yeah.
All right.
He has a ball out, though. He really has. I did not expect him to. I didn't know which way he was going to go. I honestly thought he could go either way in this league. He could be really good or really bad. I had no idea if his game's going to translate. And he is. I don't want to say it's the second coming to Steph Curry because that's stupid. But he is as close as we've seen in a point guard since Steph Curry, I think. So.
Definitely. I think he's had a better rookie year than Steph Curry. So I think it's
I agree with that too. Yeah.
So definitely reasonable for him to kind of get that comparison. As you said, I mean, I don't think he will eventually. I mean, Steph Curry's been arguably one of the best point guards we've ever seen in this league. So Trae Young, just to be compared or talked to like that, I think is a huge compliment for Trae Young.
Yeah.
All right, Neil.
We'll say that we've had a couple of really good draft classes, though. The league has some. There's a lot of young talent that's really going to develop into superstars. That's just great to see.
The last 2 years have been amazing, man. It's been great. And you know what? I don't even think we've really seen the best of this year's rookies. Like, for example, Mo Bamba. I think Mo Bamba could be an elite center. We haven't even really gotten to see Mo Bamba yet. So, Mitchell Robinson. I love Miles Bridges. I think he's going to be a solid pro. So, a lot of guys yet that haven't even really emerged that I think are going to be studs for years from now, man. All right, Neil, do you see anything news or noteworthy that you think we need to talk about?
No, I think we're ready to move on to the box scores. And I believe
it's
my turn.
It is my turn. Yep. Let's do it. Let's get into it. First game I got up is the Orlando Magic and the Washington Wizards. Not much of a surprise here. The Wizards getting the victory 100-90. But I'm going to take a look at the Orlando side of this game. Going to start with Vucevic. I'm a broken record. The guy has been outstanding this year. 20 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block, 9 of 17 shooting from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Aaron Gordon with 13 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 3 threes. Now, he did shoot 4 of 13 from the field, but he was a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. We'll still take that game from him. DJ Augustine, very up and down. Tonight, he decided to be up. 16 points, 7 assists with 1 rebound, 4 threes tonight. Shot 6 of 15. It's a pretty good game from him. Evan Fournier. Neil, I got this guy in the Hoop Ball Staff League. Did not do great tonight. 8 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 threes on 3 of 9 shooting from the field. Jonathan Isaac, this was a decent game. 13 points. I say decent and I sound a little disappointed because I want those defensive goodies, man. And 0 steals, 0 blocks. I want those stats from him, man. So 2 assists with 9 rebounds, 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown. Terrence Ross. I know a lot of people in deeper leagues are streaming Terrence Ross. Didn't quite work out tonight. Shot a very poor 3 of 13 from the field. 7 points. 7 points with 1 block, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. So not too great of a game from him. No one else that I really want to mention on this team or off the bench. Neil, what do you think of the Magic?
Yeah, tough night for Terrence Ross, someone who I have streamed before and have advocated streaming. Other than that, not much else to really talk about. Vucevic, like you said, is just he's consistently so great this year. Like I don't think he's had more than 1 or 2 bad nights all season. That's the difference between a great player and a very good one, and he's a great player this season. Yeah, tough for Fournier. He's streaky, though, as we know. Same with Augustine. They have their good nights and they have their bad nights, and tonight Augustine delivered and Fournier did not. Nothing else there. I'm going to hop over to the Wizards side. This is one reason. Well, I have Bradley Beal. Thank God I have Bradley Beal in 2 leagues. This man is just – it's just ever since Wall went down, I didn't know how it was going to shake out, but he is just – he's getting pushed to the max, 39 minutes tonight. In the season, they're really not going to go anywhere. I mean, maybe they make the playoffs, but we know they're not going to get out of the first round. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 10 of 22. 2 3-pointers, 2 steals. He's just put up line after line after line. This is one reason I can't do DFS or stream. Thomas Bryant, I would have never saw this coming tonight. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 of 12 shooting, 2 blocks. Just a fantastic night. Same with Jabari Parker, 19 and 9. Back in the starting lineup, their starters kind of struggled. Bobby Portis didn't do much tonight, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Jeff Green, just 8 points and a single rebound, stealing a 3-pointer. Ariza, really off night, just 1 of 6 shooting. No assists for him, 3 rebounds. No defensive stats, no threes. Almost like nothing out of him. It's hard. I mean, I do trust Ariza. I do trust Osada also struggled as well. I trust him, though, in terms of the minutes. He got 37 tonight minutes, that is, but not much in fantasy value except for his 7 assists. Beal, obviously, is really the one guy you can say is no-brainer. And then Ariza, I'm still going to stick with Portis, Satoransky, and then if you're a little bit deeper, maybe Green, Parker, and Bryant. What are your thoughts on the Wizards?
I agree with that take. I like the guys that you mentioned that you're going to stick with. I like all those guys too. And man, really happy about Bradley Beal. Neil, seems like a no-brainer that this guy's going to finish as in the first round as far as value goes. 9 category leagues. He's currently sitting at number 7. And, I'm very curious next season if he gets drafted in the first round, because we know John Wall's going to miss at least the first half of the season next year. So it's just like, as you mentioned, how Bradley Beal has his green light. I feel like it's going to be that way again next year. So really excited to maybe take a shot on this guy next year. But Neil, as far as some of these other guys go, I'd be willing to take a flyer on them. And one of the reasons why, the Wizards have a really nice playoff schedule. I think the next 2 weeks they go 4 games. So, some of these fringy guys like Portis, Parker, Bryant, if you're feeling risky, I don't mind, taking a gamble on it just because they got a good schedule. So it could be worth it. It could be worth it, man. All right, let's move over to the next game, the Brooklyn Nets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder getting the victory 108-96. I'm going to take a look at the Nets. And let's see, where to start first. How about D'Angelo Russell with 18 points? Oh, I'm sorry. D'Angelo Russell did not have 18 points. What am I looking at? My box score just went nuts. Did he have 1 point tonight?
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm a little behind on the curve here. D'Angelo Russell had 14 points.
Did he have 14 points? Okay. My computer's doing something crazy right now, meaning all of my columns like shifted off. So this is weird. This is crazy. So bear with me. 14 points. This is craziness right now. Hang on one sec. Let me see if I can fix this really quick. So this is really strange. Okay. 3 steals, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 2 of 8 from 3-point range, 6 of 8 from the field. Joe Harris doing his thing. Really happy to see him playing well right now. 13 points. Let's see, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. He was 3 of 6 from downtown, 4 of 8 from the line. Jared Allen, man, I was so high on this guy coming in this season. It feels like a little bit of a disappointment just because my expectations were so high. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Off the bench, Spencer Dinwiddie's been playing really well. 25 points for him, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He had 2 threes. He shot 8 of 17, 7 of 10 from the line for him. Caris LeVert, man, this has been disappointing, man. He just has not got going, or he's not been the same Caris LeVert that we saw at the beginning of the year before he got hurt. So only 8 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds for him, 1 3 on 3 of 10 shooting. Nobody else that I really trust. I've seen Kurucs get picked up in a bunch of leagues, but I don't really trust him. What do you think of the Nets, Neil?
Really, it's LeVert. That's the big news, I think, for me. Just has not. It was a severe injury. I was even surprised he came back this year. I didn't thought his season was over after that happened. Was very relieved when I found out it was not as bad as I thought. He was coming back. But clearly he is not playing as well, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. So you got to kind of hold tight with him, but he is just disappointing in terms of fantasy value since returning, as you said. Tough, the Nets are tough. They got a lot of depth, and they've got a lot of guys who can step up. They're kind of like Boston Light almost. And tonight, Harris was solid as usual. Russell has been consistent. Dinwiddie showed up. That's really it. I'm gonna trust Joe Harris. I'm gonna trust Russell, and then maybe I stream Dinwiddie. He's been hot recently. Allen's been okay. Crab, I'm not touching. Kurucs, I'm not touching this year. Ed Davis only for rebounds. But yeah, this team is too much depth for me to trust much here. So I'm gonna they're kind of like Miami as well. I'll complain when we get to Miami later about what I did. So we'll get there. Anyway, on the OKC side, Westbrook triple-double machine, as we all know, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, shot well too, 12 of 23, 4 3-pointers, 3 steals, did it all tonight. Let's see, Steven Adams, solid night here, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist on 6 of 12 shooting, 2 steals and a block. Paul George gets back into the scoring, 25 points tonight, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I know you have him in some leagues, Adrian. He's been a remarkable player this year. Jeremy Grant continues to be very consistent. He's kind of like Adams for now, 15 points, 7 rebounds. You can kind of trust him for low to mid-end value. 1 block tonight, 2 3-pointers. Terrence Ferguson, the starter, doesn't really do much offensively or fantasy-wise. And then the one guy who can be streamable, Schroeder, 7 points tonight, so not much on 3 of 10 shooting, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Noel, if you're very deep league and need a block to win your week, maybe you throw him in there and a couple rebounds, 5 rebounds tonight and a block. That's really it. I know Abdel Nader had a nice game the other night, but that's just a one-off scenario. So don't look to stream him. Yeah, so that's kind of what we know here in OKC. And really no changes. More interested in see how they do in reality playoffs and fantasy playoffs. So, any thoughts on the Thunder?
Not much for me to add. As you said, it's kind of, just as we know, as we've been seeing all year, very happy to see what Paul George has been doing this year. And nice to see this big game from him as well. So, yeah, what a great game from them. And just as you said, Neil, I feel the same way. I'm more intrigued to see this team in the postseason. I can't wait to see how this team does in the playoffs, man. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's go over to the next game, the Detroit Pistons and the Miami Heat. The Heat getting the victory, man. I don't know what's going on with the Pistons. 108-74. Blowout here. I'm going to take a look at the Detroit side, and it was not pretty on the Detroit side, man. Not too much to talk about. Blake Griffin only took 9 shots in this game. 13 points, a steal, a block, 3 assists with 4 rebounds. He had 2 threes on 4 of 9 shooting. Wayne Ellington with 11 points, 2 steals and assists. He had 3 threes and shot 3 of 7 from the field. Reggie Jackson actually left this game with a foot injury. I don't know if it's serious. I don't think it is, but check and make sure. He had 8 points, 3 assists, and a rebound. He shot 3 of 15. He only played 24 minutes because he left that game. Andre Drummond, disappointing game from him. He fouled out in 24 minutes, only took 3 shots in this game. So a very poor game from Andre Drummond. A really bad game from everyone on the Detroit side. The bench, not much to talk about on the bench, man. It's ugliness. We were hopeful on Luke Kennard, but that hasn't really happened. We've been talking constantly about how it's hard to trust any of the wing guys in Detroit, and it's really just Blake, Drummond, and Reggie Jackson. And even now, it feels like it's hard to trust Reggie Jackson, especially with this injury. So, Neil, what are your thoughts on the Pistons?
Yeah, the Pistons, like you said, the wings have been just disappointing. Ellington was the one, bright ray of hope that we thought might be able to succeed here on the wing, but it's not really happening. He had his 2 steals and 3 3-pointers, but it's just everything else is so bad. I don't trust it. So Dan Bespers and I have been looking at comebacks here after a team gets blown out. They usually play a lot harder the next game, because the coach is really pissed. But they got blown out by Brooklyn 2 nights ago, and they get blown out again. And then this is unheard of. Not unheard of, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so that's why I started 2 Miami players thinking it was going to be a close game, a dogfight. I started Olynyk and Adebayo, thinking, at least one's going to have a good game, right? I'm not counting on both, but one certainly is going to have a good game. Adrian, it was just awful. 17 minutes and 21 respectively. I'm not even going to say their box scores because I'm so disappointed in them. Anyway, Josh Richardson actually came out to play. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals and a block, 2 3-pointers. Dion Waiters, I don't trust him, but he'll chuck it up. Tonight he made 5 shots, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 3-pointers. He can do that, 2 steals and a block. So tonight, if you were streaming him, it worked out. I should have done him over those 2 guys. Winslow, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, another guy who can be streamable, 2 steals, 2 3-pointers. And then because of the blowout, Derek Jones Jr. gets 31 minutes, although his fantasy line isn't great, but they just took away from the starting 5. Didn't need to play that much tonight. Wade, 22 minutes. He continues to kind of show off his end of career skills here. Whiteside, 20 minutes, double-doubles, 13-11, 1-1. Dragic comes off the bench, so he's still not fully healthy. I don't even know if he's worth owning, but tonight got 19 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 3-pointers. I think I'm still going to pass on him. I think I'd rather have Brunson. I'd rather have some of these other young point guards who are getting like late minutes or late end of season run over Dragic. That's really it. What are your thoughts on the Heat? I can't even speak to those other guys. Sorry.
I had Kelly Olynyk in my lineup in the Hoopball Staff League tonight, so I thought he was going to have a great game here. I had really high expectations for him, so this was a letdown. And this team is so hard to trust. This team, man, it's just from night to night. Whiteside could have a big game. Adebayo could have a big game. Even out on the wing, like tonight, Waiters was serviceable and Winslow, but tomorrow maybe it's Goran Dragic, or so it's like this team is really hard to peg, man. It's just it's tough. So I think I'm going to shy away from them mostly. Although I still do feel like Kelly Olynyk will be solid for the rest of the season. So I'll still probably just leave him in my lineup where I got him.
Yeah, we talked about last time about trusting him. I think he just has a coach's trust to be out there and to play. And tonight he didn't need to play. He got in a little bit of foul trouble and they didn't need him. But I think when it's a game, he's going to play high 20 minutes, and that's usually good enough for him to put up value. So.
Yeah, I agree. And, they have some guys that are kind of interchangeable. Like, you could see Whiteside start over Adebayo. Right now it's like Adebayo. But, like, Kelly Olynyk seems like the constant. Like, he seems the guy that's just locked in to that starting role. So he just feels safe for some reason. I don't know. All right, let's go over to the next game. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks getting the victory here, 132-111. This is kind of surprising, although both teams not that great. I'm going to take a look at the Memphis side of this game. I'm going to start with Mike Conley, and you got to be pretty happy with Mike Conley, especially with the Grizzlies moving on from Gasol, and a lot of people wondering, are they tanking? So kudos to the Grizzlies for not shutting down Conley or for not limiting Conley. So you got to be ecstatic if you have him on your roster, because he is still producing at a high level. 20 points, 1 steal, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 3, 6 of 14 from the field, 7 of 8 from the line. A guy I wanted to keep an eye on this one because he moved into the starting lineup was Ivan Rabb. We saw him play well earlier in the season. When I heard he was going to start, I was like, but he did not have a great game. In fact, he was 0 of 5. Scored from the free throw line, was 4 of 4 there, so 4 points, 1 steal, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. But if he continues to start, I'm going to keep an eye on him because I know he could get hot. Valanciunas feels a little disappointing, 8 points only in 20 minutes. No foul trouble here, so really disappointing that he only got 20 minutes in this one. Avery Bradley also spent some time on the bench, and Neil, I got this guy locked in my lineup in quite a few leagues. 5 points here tonight in just 19 minutes, no foul trouble. So I don't know, maybe the bench just got hot and they just went with the hot hand off the bench. I'm not sure. Holiday with just 6 points. We don't trust him. We moved on from him a while ago. Off the bench, they did get some great production. Miles had 33 points. He shot 8 of 12 from downtown, 11 of 16 from the field. Let's see. They got some production from Wright, who had 10 points. Noah had 12 points, 5 assists and 8 rebounds in 24 minutes. Not much to talk about. I don't know if we're going to see JJJ again. Kyle Anderson, I've completely written off. We probably won't see him again this season. Neil, what do you think of the Memphis Grizzlies?
Conley's still out there and playing and producing at a high level. Good to see that. I've got him in my one of my leagues, and I need him to produce. Like you, I picked up Avery Bradley, thinking, he only has a 3-game week this week, and I was thinking, well, he's so good, 3 games is enough from him. He disappointed tonight, unfortunately, but I think he'll bounce back. I'm still believer in him. CJ Miles, wow, what a game, huh? I would never saw this coming either. 33 points. The bench really got a lot of run here. We talked about DeLon Wright being someone who could be streamed, and he delivered tonight. 10 points, like you said, 2 rebounds. 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Joakim Noah, who would have thought he would put up 24, play 24 minutes? Wow. Anyway, I like what you said about Rab. I think if he is going to start, he kind of can fall his way into like a fantasy line because he gets a lot of rebounds. He can be like a low-end double-double guy, with some assists, maybe a block and a steal. Tonight, it's just, he was 0 of 5, unfortunately, from the field. That's not like him. All right, I'm going to move over to the Rookie of the Year here, Trae Young on the Atlanta Hawks. 22 points, 8 of 12 shooting, 3 of 5 from three-point land, a steal, 3 of 3 from the line, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. Are you sure you don't want to change your vote to Trae Young for Rookie of the Year?
No.
Okay. Kevin Huerter. This is what we wanted when we talked about him being a second-half stud. He has not been, but he has had a couple good games now in a row. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 10 shooting, 4 3-pointers, a steal, a block. I like this guy a lot for next year. Hopefully he won't be overhyped. Dedmon gets back in the starting role, plays 21 minutes tonight. Did he get in foul trouble? Yeah, he had 5 fouls. So limited minutes here, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. I would trust him, though, as long as he's starting. Did have 2 blocks, 2 steals. Taurean Prince, don't trust him. Tonight was okay because he shot pretty well, 6 of 11 from the field for 15 points. Did have 3 rebounds and 3 assists. I mean, he's a low-end, very low-end guy. Don't I wouldn't say throw him off your team, but don't expect a lot. 1 steal. John Collins, do expect a lot. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 3-pointer, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 11 of 17. He is so efficient. 4 or 5 from the free throw line. He is a fantasy player's dream here, John Collins. Still bumming that I did not take him in my draft because he was injured at the beginning of the year. I didn't know how long he was going to sit, and I was like, I'll wait one more round. And then, of course, he was gone. So Bazemore just 17 minutes off the bench. We can't trust him anymore. DeAndre Bembry, who I streamed tonight just to try to get some defensive stats, did okay. Had 2 steals and a block, 4 assists. I'm going to let him go, though, for next game. What are your thoughts on Atlanta?
I am kicking myself, Neil. I dropped Kevin Huerter, and he's looking really good right now. As you said, multiple games that he's played good, and yeah, I like him. I like him from the rest of the season. So if he's still floating out there, make sure you grab him. If you were able to pick him up, congratulations. And as you said, Neil, John Collins, this is like the perfect game from him. What I love is the defensive contribution, the 2 blocks and steal. I know he's always a double-double threat with the points and rebounds, but, man, when he can chip in those defensive stats, I think that's like the one thing. Like, if he can do that consistently, he's going to make the next leap into that, like, elite category. So this is what I like to see from him, man. If he can do more of this, he's a guy that is going to improve his draft stock for next season. That's about all I got as far as the Hawks go. And Trae Young, yeah, I know he's playing good, but Luka Doncic, Neil. Luka Doncic.
Hey, you don't think that was against me? I almost broke something when he fell to third in the draft. So in the reality draft, I drafted my fantasy league. I love this guy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, really, really interesting. We did a hoop ball dynasty league. I think 24 teams or 26 teams. Just started it this summer. I took Luka Doncic with my first pick at pick, I think it was 18. And I'm curious, man, if we redrafted that, how high Luka Doncic would go. And, like, if you were redrafting a dynasty league right now, 24 teams, man, I think he would leap up higher than that. So,
oh, yeah. I remember you talking about that on the offseason. You're, like, planning for the long
Oh, man, I took Luka Doncic, and then on the way back in the second round, I took JJJ. So my team is like all teenagers and guys like I think I only have 2 guys that are over 20 years old. It's crazy.
Man, you're gonna get up for years to come. That's.
Oh yeah. Good. Oh, and my team's like in last place, meaning I got a shot at Zion.
Oh, you're
so can you imagine? Can you imagine if I add Zion to? I got Kevin Knox, Mo Bamba on this team, just a bunch of young guys. So, anyways, though. Luka Doncic, yeah, kid's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, hats off to Trae Young too. All right, you guys, Neil, I think that is it for you. It's your turn.
It's my turn to sign off here. Yes.
How does it feel to be the one signing off? Congrats.
When it's like the bell at school is about to ring and you're just like getting ready to run outside and enjoy the weather. It was actually almost hit 50 degrees here in Chicago, so we're actually. For us, this is like a heat wave. So this has been people running around in shorts already. It's crazy. Anyway,
well, that sounds up, man. Any closing thoughts or anything else that you want to add before you get out of here, man?
Well, there's a really interesting game. I might just actually stay around to watch that. Golden State Houston. We'll see if Golden State holds on to win. But I don't know. Good luck in your leagues tomorrow night. We'll be back for the last night of the week and maybe talk about some pickups over the weekend since it's a light night. But other than that, no, I'm going to head out of here. Thanks everyone for listening. Hit me up on Twitter at @BallWithNeil, BALLWITHNEIL. Oh, why not? It's Kona Coffee. I don't know if we mentioned them tonight, but they are our presenting sponsor. Did you mention them?
Yes.
You did. I'm sorry.
But hey, I'm glad you reminded him. Yeah. Get some Kona Coffee.
Kona Coffee, HawaiianIsles.com or Amazon.com. Adrian. All right. You'll be back for 2 more games, right?
Yes, right. I will be back with 2 more games. Thanks, Neil. We'll see you tomorrow. What's up, you guys? I am back for the final 2 games of the evening. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Warriors and the Rockets. This was, I was really looking forward to this game more than any of the other games from Wednesday night, and this game did not disappoint. Now, one thing that was disappointing was no Kevin Durant, and it sounds like we'll see him soon, though. I think he'll be back sometime during this road trip, but still a major buzzkill for most of you guys are in your first week of your playoffs, so to be missing games from a monster like KD is a major buzzkill. But let's get into this box score, man. The Warriors getting the victory 106-104, a really big win because the Rockets have been playing really well. They went into Houston to get the victory. So let's take a look first at the Warriors. Draymond Green, super disappointing game from him. Just mostly because his usage on offense is so low, man. In 37 minutes, he took 5 shots. So 2 points for him, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, no threes. He had 4 turnovers, didn't even get to the line. It's a pretty disappointing game from Draymond. Klay Thompson, 30 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 for 10 from downtown, and 12 of 23 from the field. That's a pretty good game from him. Steph Curry had a really nice game. I was expecting him to have a huge game, though, because with Kevin Durant out, but still a pretty good line from Curry, who had 24 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He had 3 threes. He shot 8 of 20 from the field, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. DeMarcus Cousins, man, this was a nice line. Probably maybe one of his best games as a Warrior so far. 27 points, 2 steals, 7 assists. He was dropping some dimes, and 8 rebounds to go along with a 3. He shot a very efficient 11 of 16 from the field, a perfect 4-4 from the line. So a pretty good game from him. Not much to mention with the bench guys. Andre Iguodala got the start for KD, but he didn't really do much, and he's not really rostered for fantasy. Like I said, I'm really hoping we see KD back soon. So I think within the next few games he returns. All right, I'm going to jump over to the Houston side now, and I'm going to start with James Harden. And anytime he doesn't score 30 points, it feels like a disappointment. That's how good James Harden has been this year, but still a pretty nice line with 29 points, 10 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds. He's kind of been struggling from deep. He was only 2 of 12 from downtown. So, he's been a little rough from 3-point range, but 10 of 23 from the field, 7 of 9 from the line. Clint Capella with the double-double, 13 points, 13 rebounds, a steal, a block. He was 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. PJ Tucker, man, we know his story. He starts, plays big minutes, but just puts low-end lines. Just a really low-usage player. So only 3 points for him, a steal, a block, an assist, 2 rebounds. Chris Paul had a pretty good game, 24 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. He also gave you 2 threes, 7 of 12 from the field. He was a perfect 8 of 8 from the line, so it's a pretty nice game from him. Eric Gordon has been getting the start. 17 points for him, 2 assists, 3 threes on 6 of 12 shooting from the field. He was 2 of 2 from the line. The bench guys are not relevant really for fantasy, at least in standard leagues, unless you're in like a super deep league. Manimal is back, Kenneth Fareed, but his days of fantasy value feel like they're over with Capella now up and running. So Fareed back, but only played 13 minutes, not really relevant. That's about it for the Warriors and the Rockets. Let's jump into the last game of the evening, and that's the Jazz and the Suns. The Suns have been playing some good ball lately, but not good enough to beat the Jazz here. Jazz getting the victory 114-97, and I'm going to look at the Jazz side first. And Donovan Mitchell has been playing a lot better from the beginning of the season, at least. 26 points, a steal, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He had 4 threes, shot 10 of 18 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Rudy Gobert with a giant double-double, 18 points with 20 rebounds and assists, a steal. Shot 6 of 9 from the field, 6 of 11 from the line. Joe Ingles with 15 points, 2 steals, a block, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown for him. Derek Favors put up a really nice, well-rounded line. 18 points, a steal, a block, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He gave you a 3. He shot an efficient 8 of 14 from the field. He was 1 of 2 from the line. It's a pretty good game from him. Ricky Rubio, not so great on the offensive end. Only shot 1 of 7 for 6 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Gave you a block. Was 4 of 5 from the line, but pretty disappointing from him. Off the bench, maybe you're streaming Jay Crowder in deeper leagues. He had 12 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He gave you a 3. He shot 4 of 12 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. You may also be streaming Corver in deep leagues if you're hunting threes. He had 2 of them tonight for 6 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. But not much else to talk about on this bench. It's just really those main guys, Mitchell, Gobert, Favors, Rubio, and maybe Ingles as well. So those are really the only guys that we're counting on for fantasy. All right, you guys, I think those were all the games from Wednesday evening. So I'm going to get out of here now. Neil and I will be back Thursday night for some more fantasy action. I hope you guys are having a really good week 1 of your fantasy playoffs. And I hope everything's going well. Thanks for listening, supporting the show. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Adrian Benjamins. All right, you guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.